welcome to Money and the Market. I'm Hong Bin Jung, and thank you for joining us on Money FM 89.3, whether you're on the radio as well as on social media. Well, BTS, Blackpink, twice. I'm sure some of you out there are fans of K-pop, whether you call yourself an ARMY or a Blink. You probably are all out there to support your favorite K-pop band. But what if I told you there's a way to directly invest in the future of your favorite K-pop band? It's called the K-pop and Korean Entertainment ETF, also known as K-pop ETF. So what is this K-pop ETF? Well, who better to tell us about what K-pop ETF is than the creator himself? So joining us today is Jangwon Lee, CEO of Contents Technologies. Jangwon, welcome to the show.
Hi, Hongbin. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so let's start off. What is a K-pop ETF?
So the investment universe of the K-pop ETF index includes listed companies, Korean exchange listed companies, whose industry classifications are the entertainment and interactive media and services industry. This is a difficult explanation. To put this in easier words,
Mm-hmm.
we basically have all of the major K-pop label stocks, all of the major Korean drama, Korean movie stocks within our K-pop ETF, so that global and US investors can now directly invest into this new trend, which is K-pop and Korean entertainment media.
Okay, and what led you to create the K-pop and Korean entertainment ETF?
So K-pop ETF includes stocks of Hybe, which is the creator of BTS. It also includes the shares of YG Entertainment, the creators of Blackpink. It includes the makers of TV shows and Netflix shows such as Squid Game, movies
Oh.
such as Parasite. All of these which have hit the global market, not only the Asian or the Korean market, but the top charts of the global market in their respective areas. And basically, we created K-pop ETF to provide investors and fans outside of Korea a much easier access to these Korea exchange listed companies that have exposure to the potential growth in K-pop and the broader Korean content industry, which were once considered a subculture, but has now evolved to resonate with mainstream culture around the globe.
Oh, I see. I see. But shares of Korean entertainment companies, they've been underperforming overall this year with, YG Entertainment stock price more than 20% year to date and Hybe, the industry with BTS down more than 60% year to date. How is this affecting the ETF?
So you're right. Since the fund's inception on September 1st, stock markets have tumbled globally. And very frankly, it's been a rough year for the broader stock market as well, not just for K-pop stocks, across all asset classes.
Right.
However, major entertainment companies that are part of the K-pop ETF are continuing to display strong revenue and earnings growth, and there have
Okay.
been notable global success stories among K-pop artists as well as K-content on Netflix in 2022. We see these companies showing earnings surprises. We see these companies performing all-time highs in this macro economy. So companies that are part of the K-pop ETF were not immune from valuation multiple compression that affected all of the broader market, but we're not seeing any material deterioration in the underlying fundamentals of these businesses, which is why we believe that they are poised for a rebound once macro environment stabilizes.
Well, of course, shares are of these entertainment companies are volatile like other market assets. But when it comes to announcements of K-pop groups, especially including the military enlisting of the popular boy group BTS, this uncertainty had led to the plunge in hype shares as well, plunging in fact below the IPO price. Are investing in this ETF safer, would you say?
Hmm. So I think by investing in an ETF, which by definition contains a basket of stocks of a certain sector, it
Right.
reduces volatility arising from potential single company risks. So we believe that underlying merits associated with these long-term trends supporting the growth of K-pop is
Mm-hmm.
sound. So from a
Okay.
macro and megatrend perspective, we believe that there will be continued growth and structural shifts that will lead to double-digit growth across both music streaming and OTT for K-pop and Korean entertainment in the medium term. And companies within the K-pop ETF, like you mentioned, Hybe, which has BTS, are also taking measures to diversify their revenue streams and are reducing concentration risk associated with a few artists. So BTS company Hype, for example, has been implementing a multi-level strategy, and there are now 9 independent labels under Hype, and average annual artist revenues, excluding BTS, have tripled from 2020 to 2022. So I'm not sure if generally this fact is known, but
Mm-hmm.
Hype now also owns the label rights to global artists, including Justin
Okay.
Bieber and Ariana Grande,
Oh.
as well
Mm-hmm.
as the top K-pop groups. And
Oh,
it
I
also
see.
has a fandom platform, which
Mm-hmm.
is a non-music label business, but it's more akin to a platform business and a streaming service. And that business has also been performing very well. So now Hybe is much more than BTS alone. It is a mix of different artists, including a global artist, and a different lineup of businesses, such as streaming and live.
So there is more space for growth there. And since its launch in September 1st, the K pop and Korean entertainment ETF, it hasn't performed well. But why should investors still take a chance on investing in K pop ETF?
Mm, We believe that for K-pop, we are still in the early innings of this trend, and not only is this content consumption growing, it is also becoming very borderless. K-pop and more broadly Korean content exemplify this macro trend, and what was once considered a subculture has evolved to become one of the mainstream cultures around the globe. Korea is the seventh largest music market globally, and with K-pop becoming a mainstream genre across the globe, Korea's music market grew 44% in
Oh, wow.
2021 year alone versus global average of 7.4%. That is a 6x difference. And we also believe that there are near-term catalysts for growth. So many groups recently resumed their global tours and offline concerts. There's significant pent-up demand among existing fans and K-pop artists, and 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 they have been deliberately releasing new albums in time for the post-COVID reopening. Concert-related revenues in 2022 for media and entertainment business in Korea are expected to surpass pre-pandemic levels, with
Okay.
international growth that has been unprecedented. So we
Hmm.
believe we are long-term believers in the growth perspective of the industry, as well as the underlying fundamentals, which are very, very strong this year, and we believe to remain strong for the years ahead.
Okay, well, I mean, we just had the pre-sale tickets sold out for Blackpink this week in Singapore that they're performing in May next year. But moving on to the next question, what is the long-term outlook for the Korean entertainment industry and the shares of those companies, including Hybe or JYP and SM?
Hmm. So I've mentioned a number of times that K-pop has evolved from a
Mm-hmm.
subculture or one of the subcultures to a mainstream trend. This can be corroborated by multiple numbers and figures. Um, One would assume that the most streamed music group on Spotify may be a US based or a UK based
Mm-hmm.
artist. That is not so. Um,
Oh.
the most streamed music group on Spotify is actually K-pop boy band BTS, and they also
Wow.
hold the record for most YouTube views within 24 hours at 108 million views. And
Mm.
also, one would assume generally that the number one musical artist on YouTube with the most number of subscribers globally
Mm-hmm.
would be Justin Bieber, would be Ed Sheeran, would be Adele, and so on and so forth. That is not the case. The number one, the single largest YouTube subscribed channel is actually K-pop girl group Blackpink. Justin
Mm.
Bieber is number two.
I
So
see.
we are long-term believers in the prospect of Korean businesses and entertainment companies with exposure to K-pop. And these are businesses with proven and sustainable IPs, and they've been capturing a disproportionate share of the global growth of music industry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we believe that ultimately, once the market stabilizes,
Mm-hmm.
and with the knowledge that K-pop is now much more than what it was before, I believe that there will be a much stronger demand going forward for the product for the K-pop ETF.
So, what's the outlook like for the K-pop ETF?
Long term, we're very strong believers. Short term, it will be affected by macro market trends
Mm-hmm.
that is unavoidable for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure, long term will eventually reflect the underlying business fundamentals. And
Mm.
K-pop has been and will remain the next tour de force in the global entertainment industry, and therefore we are very bullish on the long term outlook of K-pop.
Okay, well, before we let you go, I have one final question. What's your favorite K-pop band or K-drama?
I love Squid Game. I
Squid
heard
Game?
there's going to be a second
Second season,
season
yeah.
coming out, so I'm looking very forward to it. And There will be more cases of Squid Games, more cases of Parasite that
Right.
are going to come from Korea to reach global fans around the world. And I'm just looking forward to watching the next season.
Well, as a Korean myself, I'm very excited to see how the Hallyu wave has spread across the world. Well, thank you so much, Jangwon, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. We've been speaking with Jangwon Lee, CEO of Contents Technologies. And thank you for those who've joined us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, as well as on the radio. Well, the show continues on the radio, so do head over there. The news is coming up next. Stay with Money FM 89.3.
Money FM 89.3.